Josh Retro Dad. I just released the last episode of $100 Challenge. If you have not watched it, watch it. Well, we're going to talk a little about everything in this video. We're going to talk about the Tik Tok ban, 25 years of So Wrong, the Gameboy Series, the future, maybe even $100 Challenge, a little bit more after this. Well, I just released the last episode of $100 Challenge. Yeah, it was a 20-minute video. Did not mean to be that long, but a lot of stuff was talked about in that video. It was in 6 chapters. I went over the whole series, and I still kept a lot out of the video. Wild Ride, if you notice my wall, is changed. Like I said in the very end of the video, there's games I don't need, so I got rid of about 38 Super Nintendo boxes that I got from the $100 Challenge. I got rid of a couple of NES games that I don't need, as I need to make room to get games I want to get in. And the only thing I'm really focusing on right now, collecting-wise, is the Game Boy. You know, I just love the Game Boy. I love collecting for the Game Boy, and that's really the only thing I'm going to be collecting for now is the Game Boy. Mostly. I don't think I'm going to go for a whole set again, but there's about 100 Game Boy games I wouldn't mind getting again. There's only 505 games. So that's really the only thing I'm really collecting for right now. There's a couple things I still want to get. Love to get CIB Earthbound. There's a couple Saturn games. Only a couple Super Nintendo games, and like 2, maybe 3 NES games. Other than that, I still have over 500 NES games, almost 600. I'm not going to get a set again. And I have all the biggies, except for like maybe 2. TikTok. I've done a lot of stuff on TikTok. I kind of stepped aside TikTok when I was working on the $100 Challenge to focus on it, but TikTok might be banned. So I said my final goodbye on TikTok. And it's sad. It's a good platform. A lot of people think it's all lefty, loony stuff. It's not. Yes, there are some crazy people on YouTube and TikTok, both. Let's go on. There's crazy people all on social media. Depends what you watch. But we had a great gaming community on TikTok. I met so many great people. People I'm still associated with now. People I still watch on YouTube. I found them on TikTok first. And I truly am going to miss it if TikTok gets banned. Update. I was just about to release this video today and just got notified the ban's not happening. I'm back on TikTok. So right now there's a 90-day pause on the ban. So it still could get banned, but there is a possibility it could be saved. So for now, it's kind of up in the air, but TikTok's back, at least for now. Just about to get ready to release this video, and the update happened. So the ban's not officially happening yet. 25 years of So Wrong. Yes, this is the 25th anniversary of So Wrong. I can't believe I've been doing it for this long. 2000, got into college and came up with So Wrong Productions at the time. Now it's called Entertainment, but So Wrong Productions / Entertainment has been around for 25 years. I can look at my older stuff and it's cringe, but I'll admit, I miss being on those sets. I had so much fun being on It's So Wrong that sometimes it dwarfs my stuff I've done professionally or other content I've done. So fun, we laughed all the time. That was a good time. Now, we set out to do a feature film called Don't Trust the Yellow Gummy Bears, kind of like a horror spoof. We didn't do that, but we did a sketch comedy show called It's So Wrong. Sketch comedy at its worst, and sometimes it really was bad. I can look at it now, and some of it still makes me laugh, and other times like, what the hell are we thinking? We did 2 seasons of it, or volumes, first season and volume 2. So it's also the 15th anniversary of Nuts to the Future, my very first 40-hour film that I did for the 40-hour film festival. Don't know I'm going to do anything about it, but just a little bit of trivia right there. So it's the 25th anniversary. I want to do something big. I'm hoping I could do an actual real film. Maybe shoot this summer. Fingers crossed, I don't know about time. I'm working right now on the follow-up of Amityville Horror, something I did record during the $100 Challenge. I just didn't get back to it. Now I'm just trying to shrink it down. I just recorded a lot. So I'm going to try to shrink it down and get to actual other strange occurrences. And there's a lot of weird stuff going around, so I'd love to talk about it. As for retro video game content, I am going back to one of my favorite series, the Gameboy Series. I'm going to do the final part 3, where I look at the NES versus the Game Boy. I've been working on it since 2022, but I abandoned the project, decided, I'm not going to do it anymore. And the flooding really did did a lot of damage to that project. I've already talked about 100 games on the Gameboy series. So this will have about another 25, maybe up to 50. Luckily, I wrote a lot of it out. I'm just going to put a couple more games in there. Game Boy doesn't get a lot of love. Nintendo's starting to show it a little bit on like the Switch Online. There's a lot of games. A lot of games are on the NES and the Game Boy and other systems too, and some weird Game Boy games. So I'm going to work on part 3 here and there. But here's the thing, I gotta have the games. That's one of my rules I've always on this channel. If I'm going to talk about a game and show game footage, I have to have the game. Now, at one time, almost a complete licensed Game Boy set. I was only 10 away. I have half the set now. There's only a couple games I need to get to make the video. I still have a lot. So I'll be working on that, and it probably won't be released till the summer, but it's going to be like an hour video, maybe a little longer. A lot of games to talk about. It might be shorter too, but something I'm definitely going to be working on. Stay tuned for part 3 of the Game Boy series, NES versus the Game Boy. And I actually recorded some VO for it too. I even have some live footage of me. Now here's the thing, you'll see a couple clips from 2017 in there, because a little bit of part 3 was recorded then as well. So it's going to be interesting. And I'll be doing a little more videos like this where I just sit there and talk, trying to edit so much. And one thing that took so long to do some of the $100 challenge stuff was some of my audio. I don't know what's going on with my mic. I have 2 of these, and I'm probably going to replace it with more of a analog mic. I had one before. That's one thing I'm going to do. You know, I'm playing Alan Wake 2. I loved the first Alan Wake. I loved it so much, I actually took my standard edition Alan Wake and had the 360 and traded it in for the collector's edition. I love the Old Gods of Asgard, their songs, both in American Nightmare, which is the DLC, and the original game. Great music. And the sequel, I had some reservations because I heard who was associated with the game, and I saw a little bit of people reviewing it. If you look at it at your point of view, that this stuff has been changed by Scratch, which I think it is. I'm only about a third of the way in the game. There's some music by Old Gods of Asgard too, in a sequence that I was like, this is actually kind of cool. At the same time, like, this weird, and even Alan's like, I did not see that coming. I didn't see that coming either. So it was kind of crazy. Now, some of the writing isn't as good, and that's more of the FBI agent's dialogue. I know that the character's been swapped, identity politics, maybe, but I think it's been retconned by another entity, and I think that's the reason why. People have memories of her. I'm not going to give too many spoilers, but I, for the most part, have been enjoying it. At first, it's kind of like a slow burn in the very beginning, and I'm like, oh, this is how the game's going to be, but I'm starting to get really into it. Switch 2 was just announced. I'm definitely pick up the Switch 2. Love the Switch. I play just as much as I do in my PlayStation 5 or my Xbox. You know another game I've been playing a lot? The original Bubble Bobble arcade game. Got the title Milestones 3 for the Switch, and I just find myself playing it all the time. And unlike the arcade, you can put quarters in and keep continuing. You can't on that. And it's actually harder than I remember. I'm like, I don't remember it being this hard, because you don't stay in their bubbles for very long. But it's 25 years of So Wrong. So I'm hoping to do something really big. And if you're watching this and you've been in one of my films or you've been associated with So Wrong Entertainment or Productions, expect an email. I'm going to be working on a screenplay called The Silent Woods. More strange occurrences, just more on the fly gaming stuff here. I'll talk about like the retro game of the week, NES, Super Nintendo, Saturn, Game Boy. Well, guys, that's pretty much it. I just want to do an on-fly episode. Have fun, go game, and see you guys later.
I didn't see that coming.